Hi guys, I wanted to go over what you guys were supposed to be doing yesterday. If you did it yesterday and you felt really confident about the initial research that you found, then you can move on to my next video. If you kind of felt a little unsure of what you were researching, I'm going to kind of go through this with you and give you a step-by-step of how I found my research. So I'm on our slide here. And if you had this slide and you clicked on the link, I'm really sorry, the links actually broke when I was transferring the slideshow to you guys. So you'll just have to go to the next slide. So we look at our directions, and our directions have us watch a video. I'm not going to watch a video. I think you guys can do that on your own. But I am going to pull up, I have this over here, an article about my chosen weather event. If you remember, I chose an ice storm. So we look here at our guiding questions, and we see that our first one is, what are the factors that are needed for my weather event to exist? So I'm going to come over here to my article, and I'm going to start reading. And as I'm reading, I see that it is a phenomena caused by freezing rain that comes into contact with surfaces, turns it into a thin sheet of ice. They can cause accidents, cause serious damage. So if I continue reading down the page, I see that we have a whole section here titled Formation. And so that means, how does our ice storm form? How is it created? And so that kind of lends itself to this guiding question: what factors are needed for my weather event to exist? In order for my weather event to exist, you need to have a warmer layer of air above a layer of sub-freezing temperatures lower down. So how I would read that, and I'm going to go over here and I can edit my text. I would say, first, you need a warm layer over top of a freezing layer. And I'm going to just hit enter so I start another line. Now we see frozen precipitation melts to rain while falling into the warmer layer and then begins to refreeze in the colder layer below. So we can say, as precipitation falls, it warms up or it melts to rain and then refreezes back to, it refreezes back in the colder layer below. Later. Again, another, hit enter one more time, give me a little more space. So now we see we have two different situations. If the precipitate or the precipitation refreezes while still in the air, it'll land as sleet. Or if the liquid droplets continue to fall without freezing, they pass through the cold air. So this is kind of our formation. So we see that it says they pass through the cold air just above the surface. This thin layer of air cools, but the drops themselves do not freeze. This phenomenon is called supercooling. So layers. So the rain will supercool, and I'm going to bold that. You can do that by hitting Control B as a shortcut. So the rain will supercool, and then you just hit Control B again to remove the bold. And land on any surface. This will build up and create ice. Okay, and see how I kind of went down into our next box here. So what we can do is we can keep it that size, but we just highlight we select all of our text. We can go up here to our font size and then just change it maybe to 12. Go one size lower. So we're still running into the problem of being outside the box. So let's just try 11. Perfect. If you need to make it bigger, you can, or smaller. Just do it as needed. So the next question that I have to answer is, how is my weather event measured? And when it comes to an ice storm, they don't outright tell you, but you kind of have to read between the lines a little bit. So we're talking about how much ice has fallen. So when we're talking about how much ice has fallen, they typically measure it in lengths. So we see here says the definition of what the U.S. National Weather Service defines as an ice storm is a storm that results in accumulation of at least 0.25 inches or 6.4 millimeters. So when we come over here, we can say we're measured in inches or millimeters. Now, some of your weather events have specific classifications for how you would measure your event, specifically the tornado and the hurricane. There are certain types of categories that those events will fall into, and that might be how you measure it. That will tell you in your article. So you're going to continue reading through your article and you're going to fill in. I think these first two are a little difficult. The next two are just, when does this typically happen? And then any additional information. So if there's kind of a cool fact about your weather event, you can include that there. This bottom box is just for any additional information that you think would be necessary. So if you feel like this video really helped you, I would go back and check your initial research, see if there's anything that you might add after watching this. If you feel like your initial research followed that kind of criteria, you're now ready to move on to the next part of this slide. So you'll find my second video. It'll be marked as video number 2. See you there.